I didn't want to backstab because his back kept changing. That's 3. I think we're up to 3 kills on this guy. Okay, okay. No Razorback. No Razorback. Not even that paranoid, really. Wait for them to go past. Because I want to do one of these. Do they hear anything? Oh, we turn around. Okay. Where's our friend? He's back over here. Wait, they got the win? No, 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 no. Oh, no. Okay, we come out here. We come out here. We go la-da-da-la-da-da. Dominated. Oh, okay. They're really not paranoid. I was expecting motherfuckers to be like that one cunt. That one heavy. Okay, he's down. Move down. You definitely think something's up now, surely, right? They've swapped to the based weapon. I don't know if I'm built to do this now. I feel like a proud father. He goes. We can actually live this. Oh my god. Okay. I think we're at 5 or 6 on them? Are they still playing the game? They are. That Pyro's more fucking anxious than I am. No. No. Okay, well, we could try, but I think this will be a bit challenging to get the fucking scout. I guess we'll have to find a new target then for this round, because a scout, not the easiest to catch up with, if you can imagine. Can I pull this off? There's Spy now! Oh my god. Okay, I'm taking that as a dub. Let's off the Spy. That's 100% a win. This is derailed. This isn't going well anymore. And we were having fun being a cunt. Now it's not fun for me. I'm not being a cunt. Nah, fuck it. We're going for this. No click needed. Where is he? That's kind of cool. Let me go for this cunt. Oh, no, 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 no! I almost hit every shot. If that soldier wasn't there, that actually would have been successful. This is derailed entirely. We'll give it to the end of the round, but I think I'm a failed experiment. The hardest game that's funny. It's been a quote emblem and a bit of a downward spiral since then. Let's ignore that. Let's just play the game. Fuck it, there, you're my new target. You're oblivious. Oh yeah, so easy. Oh my god, got him. Look, let's check. He's 9 and 27. He's. What am I doing? Maybe he's about to get shoved off the internet by his mum for playing too long. Yeah, I know you had a tough run, but no. Fuck, back to. I'm just gonna kill this guy. He's so... The aim of this video was to give people a bad time, and ultimately it's come full circle, and I'm the one having a bad time. This isn't fun for anyone. Okay, one last stand. One last stand. Where's this heavy? Fuck this heavy. He's getting mad like, oh, it's flame particles. Yeah, I'll show you some fucking flame particles. And by that I mean being toxic, because that's a very healthy thing to do. This guy looks kind of new. Look at this guy, baiting around for the most obvious corner stab. No, I'm washed. I don't deserve to be in the position I'm in. No. We're done. We're done. That's all from the Spy from Team Fortress 2. Does he have a name in the cinematic universe? I was gonna call him. I've called him the Backline Assassin, but we had the Ham Assassin. Maybe we can call him the Backline Butcher. The Backline Butcher. He chooses one target and rips them to shreds. The Backline Butcher. There you go. This is the next character, but he's being retired because holy shit is it toxic. Anyway, I'm gonna leave now. This was shit for everyone. Goodbye.
Yikes. Oof.
Thanks, but I'm done with it now.
Looks like the rumors of your immortality are true.
It's time to start the ritual.
The black box is a really simple weapon concept at its core. I mean, if you compare it to some of Soldier's other weapons, this becomes painfully apparent. You know, you've got something like the Beggar's Bazooka, which introduces this really cool and unique overload mechanic, which drastically changes the way you play Soldier. You're essentially trading off precision for pure chaos. Very fun chaos at that. As your rockets have a small amount of random deviation, meaning they can go all over the place. The Beggar's also opens up new avenues for rocket jumping with the misfire mechanic, as overloading a clip allows you to rocket jump mid-air for some insane speed. All of this hidden complexity wrapped up in just one weapon. And it doesn't even end there either, because in direct contrast to the Beggars sits the direct hit, which is an unlockable that punishes inaccuracy and rewards precision. You trade off 70% of your explosion radius for more damage, more projectile speed, and the ability to mini-crit airborne enemies. This weapon is like the epitome of get good. It's in the hands of a competent player. This thing can be scary as all hell. It's great for dealing with engineers and their sentries. It also has the ability to remove scouts from existence at point-blank range. It's very hard to use consistently, but if you put in the time, you can dominate any server you set foot in. And again, look at all that complexity. It's another great weapon concept. And then, there's the black box. Give up a rocket in your clip, and in turn, you get some health back when they hit. Well, this change actually has some fairly drastic repercussions on Soldier's entire playstyle. Before I get too ahead of myself on that, let's unpack the weapon in full, starting with the numbers. On hit, the black box provides up to 20 health per attack. Now up to is pretty non-specific. So how does this actually work in action? Well, when you shoot a rocket, it deals damage, anywhere in the range of 24 at max distance to 112 at point blank. And what the old black box would have done is reward you a flat 15 health back if your rocket hit anyone for any damage at any range, which was slightly problematic, because you could be on the other side of the map, fire a rocket from behind cover which barely touches your enemy, be rewarded with almost 1/10 of your health back instantly. And this provided Soldier with way too much self-sustain when dealing pretty pitiful amounts of damage at range. So when Gunmetal rolled around in 2015, this healing mechanic was changed slightly. Rather than providing a flat amount, healing would now scale off the amount of damage your rocket did, at a rate of 1 health point for every 4.5 damage dealt. This meant that those pesky long-range rockets would now only provide 6 health points rather than 15, so you can no longer just spam out the battlements where some gibbous snipers are camping and expect to replenish your whole health bar. These changes also did affect Soldier's mid-range combat, with rockets that deal between 50 and 60 damage but now heal slightly less at around 11 to 13 health points, which is a slight nerf but is honestly pretty negligible, especially if you're running something like the Conch, but we'll talk about that thing later. So to reach that previous guaranteed 15 health per rocket, you need to deal 68 damage, which I personally think is a reasonable amount. Now to compensate for all these nerfs, the black box was buffed to provide more healing at close range, capping out at 20 health per rocket when you deal a total of 90 damage or more, which exceeds that previous 15 health threshold. Right, so that's the main gist of how the numbers and stats work, but what does it actually look like in game? But we all know that managing your health is very important to TF2, and like any other first-person shooter, the game essentially revolves around it. And this is especially the case for a class like Soldier, who not only tends to bear the brunt of the enemy team's damage most of the time, but also has to factor in additional complexities like rocket jumping, which also complicate health management. It is therefore crucial that the Soldier remains at a decently high level of health throughout the game, when you're facing danger more often than the rest of your team. But that can be quite challenging without the presence of a medic. And well, that's where this guy comes in, as it's this scenario where there is no medic that the black box proves most useful. And it's generally my most common reason for running the item. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh Maxo, why don't you just swap to medic and be the change you want to see in the world? And to that I simply say no. The additional HP the black box rewards for damage allows you to spend more time on the front line due to your increased self-sustainability. Each clip you're firing off into a choke point full of enemies is rewarding you with anywhere between 30 and 60 HP, which really extends the time you can spend helping your team in battle. So STGesus actually talks about a similar idea in this video on Battalions Backup.
You buy you and your team more time. You take longer to kill, which gives you more time to push or to hold.
So at their core, these two weapons actually fulfill a similar function, in that they extend your time window on the front line, which is invaluable for pushing or holding. And yes, of course they do this in a different manner, as Battalions Backup provides a much stronger but shorter form of sustainability in the form of flat resistances for 10 seconds, whereas the black box gives you these small bursts of regen, which add up in the long term to keep you alive longer. Half the time I actually find myself not even really registering the amount of utility that the black box actually provides, because if you are playing relatively safely, your health bar will just naturally hover around that 200 level from the amount of damage you're putting out. It's only when you get into those 10 slow health scenarios where I'll find myself praying that I do enough damage to regain that little bit more HP I need to survive one more meat shot or direct rocket from the enemy. So if I had to boil down the benefits of running the black box, it kind of just makes you exist for way longer than you would with any other rocket launcher, which means more time pushing, defending, or fragging your little heart out. Also, before I move on to the technical weapon,
okay.
I had nowhere else to put this, but god, this thing seems to random grip every other rocket I was shooting, like holy shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what it is about me, I don't know if there's a glitch with it, but this thing really seems to like to triple its damage for no reason when I'm using it. Okay, whatever, we're moving on. We're moving on to the downsides. It ain't all sunshine and rainbows with the black box, as it does come with one pretty severe downside, and that's only having 3 rockets in your clip. On paper, this doesn't really sound all that bad, because one less rocket just means you might be reloading a bit more than you're usually comfortable with. Whilst that definitely is a factor to it, there is a more important downside to only having 3 rockets. It really limits your ability to play hyper-aggressively. What I personally love about the Soldier, why I use my most played class, is that yes, you have the potential to deal out extremely high levels of AoE damage. That's awesome, but what makes that even better is that you can do it whilst being hyper-mobile through rocket jumping, which makes doing the whole damage-dealing part like 100 times more fun. My general strategy goes something like this. I'll use 1 rocket to jump towards my enemy who is usually out of position. I'll then use my next 2 rockets to pick off this enemy, and then I'll use my final rocket to jump away to safety, whether that's a health pack or my death net. Now yes, there are obviously a lot more nuances to this playstyle than just that, but for the sake of argument, let's try. If we substitute the black box in over the rocket launcher, it essentially makes this style of play completely redundant. So
That could have been
really limits your ability
a lot
to
faster. It was like 10
if you go back to that last
wasted
example,
on
you use
just
1 rocket to
Yama
jump in,
face pick
you
up
use 2
and
rockets to
being
pick off the
scared
enemy,
of
and then kind of get your
stuff.
dick in your hands, like you can't really get out quickly because you're out of rockets.
Oh
This whole
boy.
scenario becomes a whole lot more awkward if you happen to miss a rocket on your enemy. So you'll have to waste even more time reloading, which leaves you vulnerable to your
Okay.
enemy and their team. There is the added bonus of having rockets which regenerate your health, which definitely does help in these scenarios. But often, that additional 30 to 40 health you'd be getting back isn't as advantageous as having an additional rocket loaded, which can finish off your enemy,
Alright.
or let you escape
I'm
from
happy
a
with
pinch.
that. The
Another
next
way in
one
which this
is-
reduced clip size hurts you is when you're up against
I
an
guess
engineer.
so.
Having 1 less rocket in your clip makes it much more challenging to take out a sentry. The additional downtime it takes to reload rockets gives the engie more time